What's up guys, my name is Doug. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. I'm very excited to be showcasing a new artist for you guys today in this video. We're going to be listening to a project called One of None by an artist named dretheweirdo on SoundCloud. Very interesting name. I actually spoke to Andre on Instagram. He hit me up and he asked me to do a review for his project, and so here we are. It's that easy, guys. You can hit me up on Instagram. We can talk about how to approach it, when the video is going to be dropping, how many tracks, etc. on your project. And yeah, you can be on a video just like this one for yourself. So hit me up on Instagram if you're into that. And yeah, he seems like a super chill dude, very passionate about his music. And I'm excited to hear what he's got for us. You know, lately, these artists that I've been listening to, that I've been getting put onto, have just been so crazy talented. And so I'm expecting this to be somebody with a lot of potential, somebody with talent and with a really dope skill set that I can appreciate for 10 tracks. Before we jump right into the music, I'm going to say that I really appreciate all the support that you guys have shown to the channel so far. And if you would like to continue to show support, a great way to do so is to become a patron or a member of the channel. The Patreon and the membership from the channel are how I kind of crowdfund all the different segments and ideas for these videos that I want to create. All the different videos that don't normally draw in so many views because they're a new series that I'm starting up. Those are only possible because of the patrons and the members from the channel. So I'm super appreciative to all my patrons. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the reason that this channel is going so strong. Definitely adds motivation and creativity, you know, creative fuel for me when I have that backup and that support system. So super appreciative of all of that. And if you're not able to, it's totally fine. Like I said, you can also support by subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing the videos, all the myriad of different ways that you guys have shown support so far for this channel. I'm just super grateful for all of it. So thank you guys so much for everything that you've done so far for the channel. And with that said, let's just jump right into some of this music, man. So the first track is called Intro. And yeah, this is One of None by dretheweirdo on SoundCloud. I'll leave a link in the description, by the way.
Got a fast car, got us through the race. Concurrent nigga, or roll the dice. Once you in this street shit, just know there's a price. Keep a pipe of fat, real genuine women. Got it to my head. How my family's keep it, she's my rib, I survive. Yeah,
that's dope.
Apple in my eye for a smile.
Very dope. So like I said, when you get these new artists that are hitting you up on Instagram and you're gonna come listen to them, for you to have a really great experience off the bat, a lot of things have to be clicking, especially with somebody who is up and coming and may not have all the access to all the professional tools, etc. So normally we come in a little bit more open-minded because we're looking for potential and not necessarily expecting these guys to be super great off the bat. So clearly with this track there are just quite a few issues, none of which really have to do with Andre specifically. There are a few little times when he gets off beat a little bit, but that's just due to the fact that the beat is so slow. It actually is harder than you think to rap slow as well and on beat. Humans have a tendency to want to speed things up, so it is a little difficult, but that's really the only thing that he could have worked a little bit on. The lyrics are really dope, talking about needing some paradise, wanting to get away, talking about his girl and showing appreciation to her. I'm into that stuff. I think the production is definitely going for kind of like a Pierre Bourne vibe with those synths, especially that kick pattern, that 808 kick pattern. And you know, I just really think that it would have worked a little bit better if the mix were done better. You know, the synths are a little bit harsh, the bass isn't knocking enough, and some of the frequencies in the middle are getting a little muddy because of the 808 clashing with some of the vocals, you know, things like that. So working on that mix really would have cleaned up the sound a whole lot, and that's really the major issue with the track. You know, if that had been done a little bit better, there really would have been no major issues with this song at all. You know, I really think it's very interesting. It's fun to listen to. He's got a really cool, smooth flow to him, so I like it. Yeah, just working on that mix, cleaning things up, getting the best quality recording that you absolutely can out of your you know, dry vocal recording session, and then adding the correct effects onto them. The mixing is absolutely what makes these tracks and what breaks them for up-and-coming artists. So this is a really dope attempt, a whole lot of potential with this intro.
Oh shit, what the fuck? Oh shit, what the fuck? They done fucked up. Get him fucked up, get him fucked up. Grab the devil by his horns, death and pain, the life I mourn. Yellow wrist grew out the corn, you'll be giving now me porn. Droppers I've been sinning, so my soul to the devil, cause my team stay winning. Never ever got what the fuck.
This is really dark.
Get him fucked up, get him fucked up.
This bit right here needs a little bit more energy.
Just stay awake and never get a play. Several days.
That's dope. Yeah, so like I pointed out, there's that little bit right after the hook that could use a little bit more energy, some extra vocals, you know, some really yelling energy, because it's supposed to be kind of like a dark, violent, like angry, kind of gritty track, and so it needs a little bit more of that edge to it. I think that the verse is pretty dope. I think that at first he does get a little bit off beat, but he finds it. He catches it, and then even during that portion when the beat actually cuts out, he manages to stay right on beat so that his timing with the drop is really solid. I like this beat more than I liked that last one. I still think that the mix could be a little bit better, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. That kick is nice and punchy, some really dark synths going on. Really dope track, honestly. It's got a very like edgy, angsty, like dark energy to it, you know? It's dope. Back to Basics is track 3.
Are you ready for Allen? Weirdo. Full of dream faces. I'm just counting Benji faces. Trying to count a PJ. Trying to go to different places. Trying to why these niggas so mad. Cause Dre the weirdo stay in his bag. CR1 vet did the whole dash. Give it up to East.
This is cleaner for sure.
She's two hoes. Why are these niggas so mad?
The mix on this one definitely sounds cleaner. It sounds like it might be mastered. It's louder for sure than those last two tracks. You can clearly hear the synths, the bass, the drum sounds, his vocals, all very nicely separated. Definitely something about this track was better executed in the mix than those first two tracks. Maybe they were recorded or made during different, you know, time periods. And he learned a few things, you know, before he made this one, but yeah, definitely sounds much better than those first two tracks in terms of the quality of the overall sound. Now that 808 is knocking, the drums are hitting, you know, his flow is going really crazy. He's got a nice energetic performance and delivery. Yeah, this was really dope. You know, I could definitely see this kind of vibe on a Young Nudie tape, or definitely on the Playboi Carti tape as well, because it's got that Pierre Bourne kind of sound to it. You know, really cool. Wake Up is next. I absolutely love the way that this beat sounds. I think that everything about it is super creative. You know, the sounds that they chose, the piano melodies. I love the way that the beat sounds. But I think that it is overpowering his vocals a bit. So I think that some of the drum sounds need to be turned down. Those keys definitely need to be turned down just a little bit. And that would have made the vocals stand out a little bit more, you know, for sure. Maybe some compression on the vocals. A little bit of side chaining the vocals to the rest of the actual tracks to cut out some of those mid frequencies whenever he actually speaks. I know Simon Servita does that for his vocal mixing. Yeah, just little things like that would have made the vocals stand out a little bit more. But in terms of the production, the vibe, the overall sound, super dope. Like I'm rocking with it 100%. It sounds awesome. This sounds great. I like this a lot. I also like that he experiments a little bit with the auto-tune and the humming. Yeah, I do think this track was very loud and a little overpowering, but overwhelming at times sometimes. But it still sounds great. It's got a really cool vibe to it. You can hear how much potential he has in terms of creating a sound, like a vibe, flowing on a track, lyricism, the beat selection, like all of this has been very dope. Next track is Bro Forever.
That is my bro, that is my woe, that is my bro, that is my woe. Mess with my bro, tag on his toe. That is my bro, that is my woe, that is my bro, that is my woe. Mess with my bro, tag on his toe.
Those little melodies that just came in are really cool.
Hold up, hold up, hold up. That is my bro, that is my woe. That is my bro, that is my woe. Weirdo. Check out that rig, check out that neck, check out my beat, check out that jet, check out that wrist, check out that neck, check out my beat.
Yeah, I love the production. I think that the melody in the background that comes in is super nice. It's got a really cool vibe to it. I will say though that lyrically this one isn't as much for me. It got a little bit too repetitive. You know, that is my bro, that is my woe, mess with my bro, tell him his toe. It's just a little too repetitive. It got a little bit too overwhelming at times to hear that repeated, you know, over and over and over again. So that one's just not really for me lyrically, but I'm rocking with the vibe and the production and, you know, for sure. The beat selection, absolutely. Check Me Out is track 6.
30 last Sabatito shots. It's a lituation, bitch. For the jack, we taking shots. In VIP. You got stay up for it in VIP. I got that fat, that dirty pipe. Kicking shit like Bruce Lee. You broken knees on top of no. Suck me, I'm a slurp bitch. She love popping Zans with shit my OD.
You know, I actually started zoning out during this one, which is a very Pierre Bourne-esque effect to have on me. You know, the production is so easy to just like vibe to, and you just start getting lost in your thoughts as it goes on in the background, and you find yourself moving and grooving to it without really realizing like, wait, I'm halfway through the song. You know, it's a very cool effect. It's a very good thing to have happen. Now, you don't want tracks to lull people to sleep, but when you have a song that people can kind of get lost in their thoughts to, you know, it's always a good thing. So yeah, I wasn't really paying attention too heavily on the lyrics here because the vibe was there and I was just vibing to it. So it has that feeling to it. Some tracks just have that feeling where you don't need them to be super lyrical. You can just put them on and it's fine. You can vibe to it. And that's kind of the effect this one had on me. I do think that there was a little bit of a melodic approach to how he was performing the hook that I enjoyed. The ad-libs were really dope. Again, very Playboi Carti-esque as well. You know, the gunshot sounds in the background and things like that. So I enjoyed that. And yeah, it's very well executed. There's really not so much I can say about it though, because like I said, I was kind of drifting off a little bit in the middle there. It had that really cool effect on me. The Weirdo, track 7.
Dre the weirdo. Watch what you say when you speak about the weirdo. Wrap him up like a burrito, like a muscle Don Vito. Dash out broke his needle. Car too fast, so bottom crash. In this stash, till I blast. You win and pass, you win. These bitches ain't shit. Ain't who I win, I'm topic. Happens when you smoking chronic in Atlanta. Speaky stay all in the stash. 100s, 50s, 20s, they all in the stash.
I like the very energetic, aggressive feel to this song. I do think that when you're coming onto a track like this and you're very hyped and you're going to give a very energetic performance, you have to pace yourself a little bit because it's very easy to accelerate and get ahead of the beat a little bit, and that happened a few times here. So I will say that is something that has come up a few tracks now. So if there's one consistent criticism that I could give for this project so far as a whole, it's definitely just to be careful of the tempo when you're performing your verses, because there's a really cool, there's a whole lot of talent there in terms of lyricism and flow and sliding on a track. You've just got to be able to match that tempo really well. And a lot of times you do, but it's those very little times when you get a little bit ahead of the beat that kind of throws us out of the track a little bit, you know? Also the mixing as well as a whole. A lot of these tracks have been very well mixed actually, but the first few had a few issues there, so that's also something that I would just be careful of. Just always getting a nice clean mix, a very clean vocal recording, and being careful of the tempo for sure. But besides that, the chaos, like the energy, the aggression on this track, the beat drop almost reminds me of Plain Jane by A$AP Ferg. I think it's, you know, just super heavy and super energetic. I like it. I think it's really cool. Track 8 is Watch Me.
Wake up straight to the cash. 200 on my dash. Damn, this Lexus fast. Grass, but I keep my shit mo. Forgive and forget. Don't care what you owe. Whoa, 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 whoa. Boy, that's weirdo over there. Posted in the cul-de-sac. We on the porch just smoking pat. We. Oh, 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 oh.
I like how melodic he got on this one. He really gave us a little bit of a singing performance during those hooks. And I like to hear that. It shows a little bit of versatility, shows a little bit of a willingness to risk, you know, and to take a dive and to experiment a little bit with his sound in a way that maybe he's not comfortable with, but he's willing to do it anyways for the sake of, you know, finding gold, really. And I think it sounds nice. I think it's something that he could experiment with more. So yeah, I enjoyed that about this track. I think that the beat selection is great, as always. And yeah, just that melodic approach really sounded sweet at some point. So I think that it definitely could be maybe another lane opening up for him to explore a little bit, for sure. Tell the Truth, track 9. Straight into it, huh?
Yeah, I be in my comfort zone, man, staying out the fucking way. You should do the same. Hey, there won't be another one like me in this life. Put my trust in you. I got stabbed with a knife. But the suits and politicians, money getting acquisitions. Please, boy, you not competent.
Those little keys are very interesting. The way that they sound, almost like they're going around in circles. The way that they made those synths really sounds very, very cool. I don't know how I would go about making that sound. It literally sounds like it's a sound that is going in circles as you listen to it.
But I'm sure you ready know. Closer to the real ones, live out to the real ones. Your block's tattle till a teacher's pet. Remember, you are one of the real street niggas. I know I'ma tell the truth. I am not.
Yeah, I think he did a great job at staying on beat on this one. And like I said, the synths sound very interesting, the way that they were created, or I don't know if it's a preset or if it's actually designed by the producer, Lord Casso. It very well may have been, and that would be very impressive, because I have no idea how you would go about making that sound. Seriously, it's a very interesting sound. It's perfect for this vibe, this kind of minimalistic take on production, minimal trap almost, you know, Pierre Bourne, etc. It sounds very cool, and yeah, again, great job at staying on beat. Very aggressive, emphatic performance. Very solid track off this project, actually, for sure. And I think it's the one that has the most plays. So yeah, I mean, that's indicative of just how good this one actually is. The last track is Palm Trees.
WEIRDO. Like everybody else, wanna be the best ever version of myself. You can follow
that's dope.
trends. Palm trees, good weed, great energy. Palm trees, good weed, great energy. Wanna be the best ever version of myself. You can follow all the trends. I'ma pay my own way. Wanna smoke in the valley, wanna relax up in Cali. Palm trees, good.
It's dope. I like this one. You know, it's crazy because some of these bars end up actually being wholesome at some points. Coming off of these beats, you would really normally expect just always aggressive lyrics, but some of these bars are really just wholesome, wanting to be the best version of himself, showing appreciation to his significant other. I don't know if it's a wife or a girlfriend. You know, just really wholesome stuff, really, really nice stuff. You love to see it, you know? So I like that about this stuff, this music. The production's really smooth, you know, really nice closer to the project. Definitely get a sense of completeness to it, definitely a sense of closure. And yeah, I think it's a really great track to close us off. So Dre the Weirdo, Andre, thank you so much for sending this in, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it definitely has less plays than it deserves to have on Spotify. I think that there's a whole lot of potential here for wholesome trap music. I don't want to say that, but there's a whole lot of potential here in terms of the flow. The sound design on the production's really dope, and your beat choice is excellent, I think. The mix could have been a little bit cleaner. Recording quality could be a little bit better on not all of these tracks, but on some of them. For the most part, there were no issues. These tracks have a really nice energy to them. They have a lot of aggression. They're fast paced. They're fun to move to. Some of them are fun to get lost to and vibe out to. And you do a really nice job at performing on all of them. I will say again, just to keep in mind the tempo of the track and explore that melodic approach that you took on Watch Me. I think it's really sweet, man. I think that there's something there. Your vocals sounded really nice when you were performing that track. So just be sure to take those risks and to never stop experimenting and being yourself, you know, because it's making really dope music. So yeah, guys, be sure to check this out. Dre the Weirdo. Show him some love on SoundCloud, Instagram. Forgive that motorcycle in the background. I have no idea why Brazilians love to make their motorcycles noisy on purpose. They poke holes in the mufflers because they want the bikes to be loud. But what just happens is the bike ends up being loud, but not as fast as that level of noise would lead you to believe that bike to be. And so you just hear it go on for a very long time because they're very loud and they're not going anywhere very quickly. So rant about Brazilian motorcycles over. Be sure to show Dre the Weirdo some love on Instagram, on SoundCloud. Check out his music, see if it works for you, see if you enjoy it. And yeah, again, thank you so much, Andre, for sending this in. It was a pleasure to listen to your music. And if you would like a video for your music, hit me up on Instagram. You can also email me. There's no guarantee that I'll see the email. I do get a lot of those, but you can try that out, or try both. Why not? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Be sure to show some support to the channel any way that you see fit. I'm very appreciative of all of the support that you guys have shown to the channel so far. I'm not certain that we've hit 16,000 subscribers yet, but I think we're going to get there soon. And that's just nuts to me, so we're on the road to 20,000, eventually 50, 100, and so on and so forth. I'm very excited to be on this journey with you guys, so just thank you all so much. I will be back in another video very soon. Until then, stay safe. Peace out.